All right, BD fam, welcome to another edition of Webinar Wednesday. Really great to be with everyone here today. Hope you had a good last 2 weeks since the last webinar. We are at webinar 151, so that's fantastic. 200 is right around the corner. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. I am Jason there on the left, and we're lucky to be joined by David Rockland, the digital strategist, and so much more here at Brilliant Directories. David, thanks for taking the time to join us today.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be back with you for another webinar Wednesday. We've got a great presentation coming up, so really excited. Looking forward to that.
Awesome. Yeah, a really helpful tip of the week. So make sure you stay tuned with us till the end for that. And we are streaming live on YouTube, which is fantastic because that means the replay of the webinar will be immediately available for everyone. And we definitely encourage you guys to join our YouTube channel and subscribe. You can head on over to brilliantdirectories.com/YouTube and click on the subscribe button there. And yeah, we post new tips of the week there, feature updates, the webinar replays, and lots more. So definitely some goodies there to subscribe to. And because the replay will be immediately available, we will drop a link in the Facebook group. So if you have trouble finding it, you can just go to the Facebook group. We'll pin the replay at the top of the page, and we invite you to join us there. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook and click on that blue join button. Also, just a little bit about the Facebook group. If you're not already part of it, it's a great way to keep in touch in between Webinar Wednesdays. Lots of people are working on their membership and business directory websites, and they're asking for feedback, suggestions, strategies, and tips. And myself, I'm pretty active in there as well and trying to contribute to those conversations as well. So we definitely look forward to seeing you guys there with us. All right, and we do see a good handful of new names and faces out there. Caroline, Jack, Isaac. Let's see who else we got here. We got Olga, BD regular here. Mark, nice to see you here. But just a little bit about Webinar Wednesday. You know, every week, every 2 weeks, we're pushing new features into the platform. A lot of them are from your suggestions, the community suggestions, support tickets, posts created in the Facebook group. So in Webinar Wednesday, we like to showcase and share with you some of the noteworthy updates that can give you actionable steps to grow your community. So we'll cover topics such as increasing your website traffic, converting visitors to members, improving the website's navigation, and a lot more on these topics. And actually today's tip of the week will cover several of these topics to help you with your membership website. So if you have questions about your specific site on any of these topics or anything else, please save them. We'll get to as many questions as we have time for today. All right, and just before diving into the tip of the week, we have a handful of upcoming features that we'd like to share with everyone. And actually, one of these was actually pushed while we were creating the slides for this webinar. But we are working on a faster loading admin. So the pages inside the backend where you will load significantly quicker and faster, giving you a little bit more flowy freedom as you navigate in the admin area, saving pages, navigating between pages, loading pop-ups, and a lot more. So we're definitely looking forward to that release. Just some internal notes, we're testing it with our internal staff and team first, and once we hash out all the quirks with that, we'll be releasing that to everyone for a faster admin experience. The next one here, this was already released. We were going to announce now that German is a default text label language that you can select for your site. In the previous webinar, we announced French was available. So now there are 4 default languages that you can set your text labels to if you're starting off your site. That would be English, Spanish, German, and French. And let me just quickly show you an example of where you can set your site's language to German or French. If we go to the admin area here, and we'll go to settings and general settings, and just very quickly we'll take a look at this site here. Let me go to a page that would be kind of pretty heavy with text labels. We'll go to the basic information page here. So right now everything is set to English, all the default text labels. And if we go to general settings under localization, under the default language, let's change it to German in this case. So when you select German, you'll have an option here with the checkbox to use this language as the text label. So you don't have to manually change 1,800 text labels on your site to make it into the default German language. Let's go ahead and save the changes here. Great, and we'll just do a hard refresh here. And anything that was previously a default text label, we can now see is translated into German. There are some things that are not translated. For example, the main menu, you're going to want to change that in the menu manager. But we can see here that the majority of the text here is now in German. The post types, you can edit those names yourself. You don't have to get into any of the code, but all the other default text labels have been updated automatically. So this is a great way to jumpstart your site if you need it in another language. And we'll be adding more languages based on popularity moving forward and in the future. Let's set this back to English. Save the changes there. And if I hard refresh this page, we should see English here. There we go, enter contact information. So that's a great update. And now 4 text label libraries are available: German, French, Spanish, and English. All right, this next one here, we've identified some known spam characters and letters that are commonly used in spam messages. So we're going to be pushing an update soon to protect your forms and your website against those known spam characters. And we're hoping that will significantly reduce spam inquiries coming through your site. Spam is relentless, and we're always working to protect sites against them and finding new novel ways to identify those. Okay, this next one here in the finance tab, we have a lot of users in Australia and on the other side of the globe. And currently, when payments are being processed on your site, recurring payments monthly or annually, they're processed at a certain time of day based on BD's servers. We're going to release a new setting that will allow you to localize when payments are processed on your site, the time of day that scheduled payments should be processed on your site. So if you'd like those to be at the stroke of midnight based on your time zone, you can have payments processed at that time. The issue that this is solving is that in some cases, our friends across the globe, their scheduled payments were being processed towards the end of their days, and this is going to help alleviate and solve those issues. So we're definitely looking forward to that setting being released soon. Also related to finance, the new search subscriptions page that we launched several weeks ago, we're going to be adding several bulk action settings to that. Let me show you where that search subscriptions page is here. Under the finance tab, search subscriptions. So we will be adding, the checkbox with the bulk actions here, so you can end subscriptions, you can update the next bill date, and you can update how much should be billed as well. So we'll start with some basic bulk action settings there, but if you need to update a group of members and their subscriptions, you're changing the price, you're stopping subscriptions or whatnot, adding an extra month free, you'll be able to do that with the bulk actions here very soon. Also excited for that one. And then the last one here on this list, recently we released the feature to import posts with a CSV file. So if you want to import events or job listings, you can now do that with a CSV file, similar to how you import members. However, currently it's lacking image support. So we will be supporting uploading posts with images. So you can have a feature image attributed with the event post or the blog article, whatever it may be. And then we're going to piggyback off this infrastructure that we're creating for importing posts, and we'll be making it available so you can use the ability to import posts to your site with tools like Zapier, Pabbly, Integrately, and others. So we're very excited for that. And what's really cool about that one is when you have the ability to import posts with tools like Zapier or using the BD API, you can just hook up to an RSS feed and start populating your site with content. So I'm personally excited to start testing that out and also seeing how other people use that as well. Tons more updates were released. These are the most noteworthy ones that are coming down the line very soon. And we have a lot more speed, security, and stability updates as well. We'll segue on over to the tip of the week. And we've covered homepage design in a few previous webinars, but this one's pretty cool. It talks about the hero section, the first thing people see when they come to your site. That's the above the fold, the top of the screen items that people see. And David and I were chatting about this earlier in the week and what we should cover, and we created this great presentation for you. David, if it's all right, I'll pass it over and you can take us through this week's tip of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of you are probably already familiar with a hero section. There is the dedicated settings for it in the design settings for your BD site. But really, if we start off right on the ground floor, covering the basics here, talking about what is a homepage hero section. What it boils down to is it's just a visually prominent section on your homepage with the purpose of grabbing the visitor's attention. It will communicate what it is your website is offering, the purpose of it, why the visitors should stick around and explore a little bit more. Typically, it'll include a good hero section, at least, will include a really visually appealing image or even an embedded video. It'll include a little tagline that you have that really summarizes what it is you're offering, as well as having some sort of call to action, whether that's a search box, an email submission form, a button linking to some other page you want to direct your visitors to. This is really the ideal place to include all of that information, because if somebody's going to be coming to your website for the very first time, especially your homepage, this is the section that they're going to be seeing before they even need to scroll down at all. So we want to make sure we're making a great first impression and we're grabbing their attention and making sure that they're interested. So what can we expect from a bad hero section? Let's first cover the goods, the bads, and then we'll get into some examples and some elements that would be beneficial to include in your hero sections. So a bad hero section would end up probably making visitors not really understand what the purpose and the meaning is behind your website. If there's a lot of text or the text itself just isn't clear, it can make it really difficult for brand new visitors to comprehend what exactly it is you're offering. This could lead to higher bounce rates, lower engagement, again, especially from those new visitors who don't yet know exactly who it is you are and what it is you're offering. And that will ultimately lead to a potential loss of sales, leads, whatever it is you're looking to generate through your website. And then it'll also negatively impact the overall user experience. Again, especially for the brand new visitors. If you already have some users of your website, some recurring visitors, they already know what it is you're offering, but it's the new visitors we really want to convey to them specifically what it is we're doing and why they should stick around and see what we have to offer. So at the bottom here, we just have a quick example. You can see the text itself, the messaging, it all seems pretty relevant, straight to the point, but the format of it all, it really doesn't lend itself to drawing your eye anywhere specific. The images, it looks like there's maybe 3 different stock photos all crammed together. There's also no call to action. So as soon as a visitor sees this, the only thing really that's left for them to do is just keep scrolling down instead of telling them, to check out our FAQ page or see our prices or see what our existing customers have to say about us. There's a lot of ways that this call to action could have been improved.
Also, I think something we see quite often is there's a tendency to want to stuff in as much as you can because you're trying to hammer so many different things into the visitor's head and their mind and what they're seeing. But really, what we're going to find out, and which makes sense, is less is definitely more when it comes to a homepage hero section.
Yeah, that's a great point and a good segue into this next slide. What makes a good hero section? Really, overall, it's the ability to help new visitors understand the website's purpose and what it is you're offering. If you have a lot of info in there, it'll just end up muddying the waters. Whereas if we can just really hammer home a specific point, that'll be much more beneficial. This will ultimately lead to increased engagement, the potential for more leads or sales, or again, whatever it is you're looking to generate from your website. It'll have a much more positive impact on your users. And really, again, for the new visitors of your site, having a really clean, modern, straight to the point hero section will certainly lend itself to improving your brand image and your credibility for these people who don't know really too much about who you are, what it is you're offering yet. You can kind of think of this as the first impression that we're making on our new visitors. So we really want to make sure we're putting our best foot forward.
Yeah, and with this, a lot of it is really in order to not stuff the page with so much, verbiage and titles and messaging, is you really need to distill down your message and figure out in the fewest and least amount of words possible, how can you convey the message that you're trying to connect with and for your visitors. And a lot of it should touch on emotional or beneficial points rather than the features that they're going to receive. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit as well.
Yeah, and that goes right on into the first best practice, establishing a clear value proposition to convince the visitors to stay, explore the website, see what it is we have to offer, and highlight really the prime benefit of your membership plans, what it is you're offering, and figure out what your target audience is really looking for and what they need, and hammer home on that point, address those concerns, let them know that you're here to solve their problems, whatever that problem may be, so that the message itself really resonates with your target audience. And at the bottom of these slides, we'll have a few examples, but we'll go through some screenshots as well to give you some more of a visual aid for all of this stuff. So the first one here, I think we're all very familiar with Netflix at this point, but on their homepage, they're putting their value proposition front and center. Unlimited movies, TV shows, and more. Watch anywhere, cancel anytime. So the text itself tells us exactly what it is they're offering. The image that accompanies the hero section is really visually appealing. It offers a wide variety of all the different content that they have available to consume. And then their CTA is front and center, getting us to enter our email address to get started with them immediately. So there's not a whole lot of fluff there.
At the heart, it's a membership subscription, and you're accessing premium content. So I know that we're not all offering what Netflix has to offer, but maybe for your industry or what's behind the paywall, maybe it's industry specific or getting access to searching your directory because it's a curated directory of professionals in a certain industry or region. The concept is still the same here. They're outlining very simple and very clear benefits, and the fact that it's so minimalistic shows a bit of confidence that they don't need to oversell what they're offering, and that goes a really long way. So look at those cues also. The minimalism is the confidence that they're portraying with that.
Yeah, and that contrasts our next example a little bit in Amazon Prime. It's still a really good hero section, but the issue Amazon Prime runs into is that they have so many offerings, it's a little hard to narrow it down. With Amazon Prime, they're offering free and fast delivery on all the items that you can purchase on Amazon, exclusive discounts, and then they also have their content element of it, their movies and TV shows. So you can see they try to encompass kind of all of that here, but still the call to action is extremely apparent, having the bright orange button against the dark background. They're telling you that you can try it free for 30 days. They have, again, a really visually appealing image right next to all the text with the different content that they have available for the content side of things. And then right below that, they're throwing in some information about the shopping benefits that they have to offer.
Right, and in this case, they have so much to offer to Prime members. You might not use their groceries, but you're just doing it for access to their media content, for their Amazon Prime videos and whatnot. So they're really casting a larger net and hoping that they can appeal based on one of their offerings that are behind and inside this paywall here.
Yeah, and we touched on this in these two examples, using compelling visuals to make the hero section visually appealing and then also emotionally engaging. It's much easier to connect with your visitors on an emotional level through visual aids rather than just through text alone. So we want to make sure that the image or the video that we're using is high quality and it does a really good job representing our brand and resonating with the target audience. Again, trying to hit whatever it is that will emotionally appeal with our target audience. And that kind of contrasts that first example we saw of the not so good hero section with the not so great little outdated looking images.
Yeah, let's take a look at that one more time here. The water bottle. Yeah, so this is actually a hero image as opposed to having text over with an image background. And this really does get muddied on mobile displays and other screen sizes. Let's go back to our new examples here. I think we're going to look at Eventbrite as the first example here. Let us know what we're seeing here, David.
Yeah, so again, touching on what Jason mentioned, just keeping it really minimal, stripped down of all the fluff. With Eventbrite and the next example that we'll see, they're really relying heavily on the visuals. So for this, it's a different image that appears for every different visitor that comes to the website, but they're all really visually appealing. Kind of makes you feel like you're at the event, whatever it is that they're displaying. And then their call to action, again, bright orange button, probably could be a little bit bigger to be honest, but the call to action is clear, find your next event. So you're here, it's a site to find events that you can go to and that you can register for. And then the next one here, Skillshare. Again, really relying heavily on the visuals, a lot of bright colors with this collage. Skillshare, if you're not familiar, it's a site to basically take courses, learn new skills. So they're showing people engaging in different activities, cooking. It's like one is art, another one's photography. So they're showing that people are engaging in these new skills that they've learned on their website on Skillshare. And then the call to action is front and center, explore your creativity with thousands of hands-on classes. And then we immediately, like Netflix, have the email address input so that we can sign up immediately.
Yeah, and what I think is, more for BD sites and so on, you're probably going to have a hero image like this with a call to action or a search form, depending if you're going to search the directory right there. I'm going to share a link to our Brilliant Directories marketplace. We did provide a few links to stock photo websites where you can find good background images for your sites. But just something to mention, you want the image to connect with either the person who's going to be searching the site as a visitor, so we're appealing to the consumer of the site, and we want to show pictures of a happy person having good results using the site, those emotional features of somebody smiling or feeling satisfied in some way, or if your site is B2B, you want to show them the convenience that they're going to get from using your site or your service.
Awesome stuff. So third best practice, avoiding clutter, a point we've already touched on. But if we include too much different visuals along with too much different pieces of text, it can end up being overwhelming, confusing. And really what it comes down to is not being able to quickly comprehend at a glance what it is the website's offering. So that could lead to people leaving your site. Ultimately, what will probably happen is people will just start scrolling down. They'll probably miss some of the calls to action or those important points that you wanted to hit home initially, just because everything was a little bit too cluttered in that hero section. So we do want to focus on that value proposition, nail down, maybe the 2 lines of text that we think will really convey what it is we're offering to our website visitors, and not include too much else that'll end up detracting from that essential message.
And part of clutter I want to mention is the photo that you use, and I mention this a lot to people, is try not to have text as part of inside of the image, the text that's actually part of the image. Again, like I mentioned before, it's going to stretch and squeeze on different mobile devices, and it's really, really difficult to get it exactly as you want it. It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. So use the background image to show people or actions or places, and then have the text separately as title text through the design settings themselves. And that's another way to avoid clutter, is having too much overlapping text as part of the image and title text. And let's look at some examples here.
Yeah, the first one's Squarespace, another website builder. You can see the image itself, super bright, engaging. It's actually a really big hero section. It takes up just about the whole screen size. But with that, they're able to make the text super big, everything to sell anything. So we know immediately they're really focusing on the e-commerce aspect, people who want to sell products and services on their website. those are the people they're going after. And then that bright white Get Started button is very apparent. Here, they actually have two calls to action. They have the Get Started button, and then just below that, they have a link to watch. It's actually their Super Bowl advertisement. Typically, that's not there, though. So really, their call to action is really streamlined and slimmed out. Everything to sell anything, Get Started button, and that's pretty much it. And similar with this next one here for HubSpot, really simple design. They highlight the benefits on the left-hand side. They have a really simple screenshot over on the right. And their kind of tagline here, grow better with HubSpot, software that's powerful, not overpowering. So they're appealing to larger sized businesses who are looking for different software or platforms to help them grow their customer base. And again, with the really big apparent orange call to action button, start free or get a demo.
Right, and even that line, software that's powerful, not overpowering, what they're speaking to is the convenience that their solution has, and that it's going to be easy to use. It's going to just inherently, you're going to think that's going to save you time. You're not going to be fumbling around, trying to figure out how to use everything. It's going to be very intuitive. And it's just the right balance of features for a novice user and probably a more advanced user. And they say that all with two words, saying not overpowering. So really distilling down your language and figuring out how to relay and connect your message to make resonating messages with your audience is very important.
Absolutely. And the next one here, one we've seen in all of these hero sections already, is a clear and prominent call to action, encouraging visitors to take action or learn more about your membership site. It should be apparent. It should be clear that whatever it is we want them to do, that's what we want them to do. It doesn't have to be a button like we've seen in most of these examples so far, linking somewhere else. It could, for a membership or a directory site, it could just be a simple search box, whether it's keyword, location, a drop-down search box, really anything that will immediately start getting them involved and taking action on the website. And again, this is something that very first poor example we saw didn't have. It didn't have any call to action.
And I think a key word here is clear. I've also seen cases where there are too many calls to action. We're asking too much of the visitor to figure out where to click. We're giving them 10 options to click on because we think as the website owner, all those 10 options are important. What we really should be doing is figuring out how to create a portal experience and creating broader sections to link people to that take them deeper into our site, not make all the granular pages available immediately. So think about that stuff, not only on the hero section, but also when you set up your main menu. Many times I've seen sites with 20 main menu items. Those are not main anymore. Those are extremely granular. So figure out how to create broader portal pages for your site. Your visitors will appreciate it, you'll enjoy it, and also it's better for SEO as well because it gives Google a better navigation path through your website.
In this first example here, Coursera, another course website, but the call to action is extremely apparent. It's that search box right there so that we can start searching for courses. The text accompanies that, learn without limits, so we know it's for learning new information, new skills. And then they narrow that down a little bit more, speaking to their target audience in kind of that subheading there, start, switch, or advance your career, professional certificates and degrees from world-class universities and companies. So we know it's not just a course website where you could find anything, but it's something that's targeted more towards professionals looking to advance their professional lives. So they do have that really apparent search box call to action there. And then if people don't necessarily know what it is that they want to search for, they have some suggestions right below that as well. Actually, this is almost identical to what we have on the marketplace. We probably could have used that as an example. And then something else that's important, having smiling, happy people and smiling faces, just to give a good feeling to people who are coming to the website for the first time and help them trust you a little bit more.
Yeah, and actually just something about this, we're going to make it pretty easy to add a tag cloud link under your homepage search modules very soon, so you can emulate things like this with just very simple configuration using the menu manager. So stay tuned for that coming in March, and that should add some some simple calls to action to your homepage, again, accompanying like a search form like this. So maybe you could put your trending or most popular types of searches here. And if somebody comes to your site, boom, they don't even have to search. They could just click on something that's very popular or common to search for on your site. And that's what we want. We want to take people from the homepage to an internal page very quickly without them leaving the website, of course.
And the next one here, Strava. This one, it's a little convoluted with the images that they're using around the CTA, but that's because their messaging and their CTA is so stripped down. So Strava, they're wanting people to join their community of athletes or people who are interested in doing, physical activities. So the text there right up at the top makes that pretty clear. Record, sweat, share, kudos. So you can record your workouts, your activities, share that with the community, interact with the community based on what everybody's doing. And then the call to action takes up the whole vertical space of this hero section. Again, getting you to register. They're giving quite a few different ways to register: Facebook, Google, Apple, using your email. But the images, the collage around the call to action really helps to solidify what it is Strava offers by having those screenshots of their app and then also including images of people doing physical activities and sports. So we know exactly what it is this website and this community is offering.
Right. Every homepage is going to be a little bit different and connect to the brand's voice and persona. So we might see some calmer homepages or more aggressive or loud. This is a pretty loud one with all the collage of the images. But we can see here the call to action is very straightforward. It's sign up. That's all they're asking you to do. And that's pretty cool.
So the last one here, certainly not least, we've talked about this in a few previous webinars, kind of getting ahead of the ball and addressing common objections. And the easiest way to do this is by providing social proof to people who are visiting our website for the first time and we're trying to get them signed up. We can anticipate some of the common objections or some of the reservations that they might have about joining our website and address those right up front to help them overcome that initial resistance that they might have to joining, especially if it's a paid membership or a paid service that you're offering. We want to let them know right up front that what we're offering, it works and it works for other people. So we can do that by providing some social proof. That could be testimonials, user reviews. It could be text, it could be images, it could be videos. But this is really going to be done to build that initial trust with the new visitors and encourage them to join.
Yeah, let's take a look at a few examples here.
Yeah, so here, this first one from Hootsuite and also the next one that we have, these actually aren't the very first things you see at the very top of the homepage. These are some hero sections that are a little bit further down, one or two sections below the very first section on their homepage. But again, it's a large section that visually grasps your attention. And this one for Hootsuite, it's a clear value proposition showing their customer success stories. And the image itself is kind of striking, being black and white on a really colorful background. And then the title itself shows exactly what it is Hootsuite is capable of doing, bringing almost 100-year-old company kind of in to the modern days and being successful by grabbing more customers through social media. And then this next one here, Masterclass. Their value proposition is really focused on providing courses to users presented by celebrities or really well-known people in those fields of whatever the course is that they're presenting. So that's what they have as their very first section at the very top of their homepage. They show off kind of the big names and faces. But obviously for a newer website, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get some celebrity names up on there. So a little bit down low, again, like Hootsuite, they're showing some testimonials. So here they have a horizontal slider of just some really quick, short testimonials from people who are using their website, subscribe to their service, to consume those courses that they have available. And to go along with the text, which ultimately tells the story of why these users are confident in what Masterclass is offering, they have super high quality images, all with smiling faces, looking really friendly to accompany them, just giving us a good warm feeling inside.
Yeah, and there's actually things you can put on your homepage in the hero section as well related to this. I'll just take you to a landing page that Brilliant Directories has to try out a demo. Obviously, we have our demo form here, just like the Netflix sign up to Netflix. But right here, we have a star rating from a review that we've received in the past, and we've quoted it here. So you could add a star rating right on your homepage hero section. That would be fine to include in there as part of the image, or if you can float it with some CSS or HTML if you're familiar with that. There's one more site, I think it was Avo. Let me just check this lawyer site out here. I think they had reviews on their homepage. I could be wrong. I haven't visited here in a while. Yeah, here we go. So they're actually doing something different. They're not showing that this is a directory of lawyers. We can see here, they're not saying that Avo has 5 stars or whatever. They're actually showcasing, even more brilliant, showcasing one of their members that has 120 reviews. Now, they could have just handpicked this member and put them on the homepage, but they are showing a star rating and showing social proof that, one, the site is being used. There's a lawyer here with lots of reviews. This can also be an upsell or a boost that you sell to your members to be featured, not just on your homepage, but as the homepage hero section. I'm actually going to share this link with you guys here. It might change. This is a pretty established site. The homepage might change based on where you are and whatnot, but here's an example of showing a star rating right on the homepage, and that's the social proof that David was explaining about showing right there on the hero section. So it doesn't have to be a testimonial. It could be just highlighting a member in your directory, and they're going to love it, and other members of your directory are going to want to be showcased there and featured there too. So that's something you can do. All right, I know that was a lot to digest, guys, but it's super important. It's super important that your homepage is working for you and not against you. There's way too many times where I've seen people who haven't even changed the default message that comes with a BD site. I think it says search our member directory. Obviously that's there and meant to be changed, and they're wondering why they're not getting traction on your site. So what we wanted to do is maybe if you want to share your site, we can take a look at your homepage. If you want to use the raise your hand feature, we could just take a quick look and maybe provide 1 or 2 tips to maybe assist you with helping with your homepage hero section, or maybe everything is just fine and dandy, and that would be the best case scenario. Brian, I see your hand up there. Let me unmute you here. How you doing, Brian?
Pretty good, you?
Pretty good. Thanks for joining in.
My site is barandclub.com.
All right, let's take a look together. Just give me a second. And where are you calling in from?
I'm in Chandler, Arizona today.
Okay, great. So here we are on your homepage, and we see find local nightlife in your area. So it says, what do you need? It says enter name or keyword. You might want to update, if you're going to keep the search here, which I think that's what you may want to do. You may want to say, may want to give them examples of what to search for. Or you might want to have the top level category selection here. So that way, I might not know the name of the business, but I'm looking for an Italian restaurant in a certain location. And that might prompt people to just boom, boom, click, click, search much faster on the homepage. What I was going to suggest here, instead of enter name or keyword, if we go back to this example here where it says, it gives you examples of things to search for, like search Python or front-end developer. So you can say like search dive bar or whatever a name of your category might be right here on your homepage.
Okay.
So that would be the first thing. Is because entering name or keyword, some people may not know what they're looking for, and if we can just give them a helping hand, and you also have the keyword search here. You can, instead of search by keyword, you could say find a business, because normally that's going to be for a specific business that you're looking for most of the time, not every time. And here you have a good main menu. So tell me a little bit about jobs versus drinks versus media. What do we have up here?
So I was actually looking to simplify this a lot, but I noticed on one of your examples, you had the image, it was all the way up at the top. So I was trying to find like what the ideal image size would be, like, you know, how to get the image as the background, if you guys were going to implement stuff like that into your platform or not. Do you know what I'm talking about? I think it was like the very first example that was on there that you showed
Let's
with
go
the
back a
homepage
little
stuff.
bit, I think.
Yeah,
there was this
I
one
know,
here.
That one right there, yeah. Like how you have like kind of like a menu, few menu options up at the top, and then there's the search. So that's basically what I'm going to try to get my website into, only for nightlife, like more simplified like this.
Yeah, that would be great. And again, you can create a portal, right? You can instead of having all the main menu drop down options like this, you can take people to a page that has those as options to go to.
Yeah,
So
if you click on browse, just click on browse. I kind of started doing
there we
that.
go.
Yeah, so just
That's
those are the more simplified, right?
Absolutely. So that's exactly what I was referring to, is creating that portal-like feel, and taking people deeper into your site. And that way you don't need so many main menu links or sub-menu links, or having dual menus like this. You could kind of just have fewer menus, like a single one up here with the login or join link up there. So you could just keep these ones here, and just make them that portal you into the site, or ask you to sign up, go to your account login. But yeah, I think just a quick thing would be maybe thinking about changing the name field here, and giving them the drop down, because you have a lot of categories, or at least top level categories, to get people going, and that should get people to click boom, I like to call it, a lot quicker on the homepage. Thank you for sharing your site with us. All right, great. Brian is a Webinar Wednesday regular. It's always great to have you on with us. Sharon, I've gone ahead and unmuted your microphone. You with us, Sharon?
Yes, hello.
There we go. Hey, Sharon, how are you today?
Hello. Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Where are you calling in from?
Australia?
Okay. Yeah, do you want us to take a look at your site?
Oh, yes. Yes, so supplychainpartners.co. I put that in the chat.
Okay, let's see here. All right. Supplychainpartners.co. Okay, so first of all, it looks like a very professional website. Automatically, I'm feeling like a B2B vibe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. We all know what a supply chain is. It involves logistics and so on for moving products or shipping. Is that or manufacturing? Is that correct?
Yes, it goes across all the different key elements of helping you to improve your inbound supply chains, internal operations, and outbound supply chains. So it goes across all key areas like technology, and then the physical side to move, and then people development, and also process improvement.
Okay. And how has your site been received so far? Is it clicking with people when they come? Are they understanding everything?
I would have to do a research to see what people are actually thinking, but we're getting a lot of interest, a lot of traction. We originally started off with just promoting expert members, but because we've got a massive audience of over 24,000 that we promote our members to, we're now wanting to welcome in those members. So we've just newly established our individual membership and also our corporate membership, and they're currently free. So that we can bring in the target audience of our expert members, and so that we can create more of a professional community rather than just only a marketplace where we promote and advertise.
Understood. So right now, is the website set up to be a directory to help find supply chain experts for different
Yes.
Areas of that?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So people are joining to be found and to find supply chain partners.
That's correct. And so they could be, yes. So if you hovered over the experts, then that's the expert directory in the main menu. And so they're the broad categories that we advertise our experts. And then when they publish on their storefront, then what they publish appears in the list of services and products, etc.
I see. Okay, and let's do a search up here. Is this the marketplace, the same page? That was members. And is this doing the global search of your site, maybe? Site search, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is all the content on the site. You have quite a bit of content on the site as well.
Yes, and so we promote our members through our podcast, Supply Chain Partners TV and podcast.
Okay, I have a few tips, maybe if you may or may not want to go with them, but
no, I do want tips.
This statement here seems a little general. Achieving your business and supply chain performance goals just got easier. I think everything is good except the word achieving your business and supply chain performance goals. Because they're coming here to be found or to find people who would otherwise be difficult to find in this industry. Is that right? I see here, gain access to experts, innovative solutions, free coaching, education, and networking to accelerate your business. It just seems like it's actually very good. And then it says join free today. I would just
communicating to our experts members, I'm communicating to their target audience.
Got you. So when I join free, I'm gaining access to experts, innovative solutions, free coaching, education. I'm trying to accelerate your business, supply chain, and professional. You know what? I can't knock it, but to me, it's reading a little vague. It's throwing a lot of buzzwords. It's a lot of buzzwords, as opposed to maybe an explicit benefit, something more explicit. And then the other thing I was going to suggest, so I mean, it's not bad at all. That's why I was asking how it's performing, because the site looks very professional. And again, join free today. Again, still very vague. I don't know what I'm joining free for.
Oh, okay.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Free coaching.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if it's for a coaching or to be listed in the directory or to even be able to search the directory. I don't know if I need like Netflix, you need an account to get into the movies. I don't know if I need an account to start searching supply chain partners. So I don't know exactly what I'm registering for. So that was my point. It just seems that's why your messaging is good, because there's a lot of buzzwords in it. That's why it tripped me up a little bit. There's good messaging in there and it's written well, but it's just a little vague as to what I'm registering for with that join free today. So just and then you have two types of people, right? You want to register general users who want to search the directory, even though it's all free. So you might want like a register just to join for general users, or become an expert in our supply chain partner directory. So you might want two buttons here, and that will help provide more context, not only not just to calls to action, but it gives more context to the visitors who are coming to the site and what's possible and ways it's possible to engage with the site. And just lastly,
would you like to scroll down?
Sure.
Okay, sorry. I love that having the two calls to action.
Let me go back here. Okay. Right, beautifully designed here.
Thank you.
Good coloring.
I'm on this 24/7. Thank you.
Membership options for every stage of growth. So again, here, this is below the fold here. Membership options for who, right? If this said the for who part here, that might again add a little bit more context. It would just provide a bit more context. Membership options for who, as an example. I don't want to keep going too much too low here and too granular, but the last thing I was going to suggest is you do have a lot of content on the site. If we click on that search for the global website search, so you may want to maybe simplify your main menu and potentially bundle a few of these together, like on Brian's website, and we saw it was a portal page with a few different sections. You may be able to consolidate maybe 3 or 4 of these into a single main menu link, and then take people to a portal page, or turn it into a drop down potentially. See, I see resources here. It's pretty events, training, products, services. What's the different product? Services are services people offer, services by experts.
Yes.
And products are, I'm assuming products,
physical
crane
products.
pallets. Yeah, I mean, if this was made 4 main menu items, right? Like search the directory and then search services and products. You don't have to take my suggestions. I'm just thinking out loud here, but it could simplify things. But if it's working for you, I wouldn't recommend touching it. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, big traffic going to those links, so I don't want to hide them.
Fair enough. So those would just be a few suggestions there. If you could consolidate 2 or 3 of them,
No, that's really
it
good.
would.
Is it too
you know,
busy? Is it? Is
think
that
it's
main
at the-
menu too busy?
I would say it's at its limit.
Okay.
Because also, like, I have a wider screen here, and if we go on a smaller monitor, before it toggles to the mobile menu style, it's really pushing. It's at the limit, is what I would say.
Okay.
That's
I could
what
probably
I would say.
fold the community one. Yeah, I'll have a look at that.
So take a look at that, yeah. And then just on the home page, let me get out of this view again. Yeah, just being giving a little more context and a more explicit as to who you're asking to sign up or what they're getting. That's all I would say.
Okay.
But otherwise,
Okay,
I mean,
that
the
sounds
site's
good.
fantastic, so I can't say too much. That's why I was asking if it was working for you or not. But those would just be some tips that you might want to consider.
No, that sounds really good. No, I appreciate that very much.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your site with us.
Thank you.
We have a Melissa here. Hey, Melissa, let me unmute your microphone. Okay. You might be muted on your end there. There we go.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. How are you today?
Better than I deserve. How are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for joining the webinar. Do you want to share your site or have a question for us?
Well, okay, I have a question, but it's not about this conversation, so I don't want to get us off track, right?
You know what? That's a perfect segue for just time to help everyone with anything. So ask questions about anything you have that's on your mind. So go ahead.
Okay. What is bandwidth and why do I need to care about it? It's at 20% right, or it's 2/3 of the way. It's making the red look on my dashboard, kind of freaking me out. They told me how to find stuff in the cPanel, and I'm like, what on earth do I care about this for?
Okay, so bandwidth is like, think of your cell phone like cellular data, right? And it's how much data your website can send back and forth to your website visitors. I'm guessing you have a humongous image on your homepage, like a file size of an image on your homepage. And if we just optimize that, it would alleviate the bandwidth issue. Other time, so it could be heavy resources, like downloading a really high file size image to your visitors every time they come to your homepage. That's going to use up your bandwidth. Other times, if everything is optimized, you have low file size images, everything like that. It could just be that you're getting tons of traffic to your site, and that's a good thing. And you want to make sure that you have enough bandwidth for that traffic. Side note, if you ever surpass your bandwidth usage, your site's BD is not going to shut down your site, or you're not going to be interrupted. We just get pinged to come take a look at your site and see if there's something that should be optimized, or if it's legitimate traffic, or if there's something hogging your bandwidth, and we should fix that. So if you'd like, we could take a quick look at if you don't want to share, that's fine, or we could take a quick look and see if there's something hogging up the bandwidth on your site.
Can you look on your screen? Can I just give you the website?
Feel free to share it.
It's christianhandmadedirectory.com.
Okay, give me one moment here, and we could take a quick look together.
Gosh,
and we've covered some of this.
I'd like you to see my landing page too. Like, let me know what you think. All the things. Oh my gosh.
Okay, great. So yeah, I see here. Yeah, you have 24 out of 30 being used. Let's just take a look at your homepage real quick.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So what I like to do, I'll just do a few things on page speeds. Google page speed real quick. It's going to kind of give us some indications, and then I'll check myself as well. We'll look at GT metrics. These are just some tools, and it's going to let us know if there's anything that's really high file size that's loading on your homepage.
One thing I did add recently was I'm using a deadline funnel on one of the on one of my checkout pages. Is that hogging up bandwidth?
Let's see. Let's make sure that it's only being used on your checkout page, right? So these tools are going to let us know right off the bat. Okay. Just a quick inspection here.
I have another question too. I'll wait to ask it, but I'm ready. I got it.
Okay. Let me just download this image and see how big it is. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's it. 3 megabytes. So you're loading a 3 megabyte image on your 4 megabytes, 3.8 megabytes on your homepage.
And that's just like a background hero image. Oh, how hilarious!
Yeah.
I can totally minimize that guy.
Let me do it for you real quick, so other people can see what we want to do. Now we've done a previous webinar on optimizing images. We'll find that and share it when we publish this webinar. Let me just open this real quick. Okay, so the first thing is if we look at the image size, and there's tools to do this for cropping stuff online. So 1900 by 1080, and if we go to your site, you're not really using all of that. 1900 is pretty good. I'm just going to make it 1800 by 1000, so just a little bit smaller. It's fine. And then I'm not going to save it as a PNG. PNG is when you have transparent elements on your image. This doesn't have any transparent elements, and that adds to the file size. I'm just going to make it JPEG. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make it very high, which is an 80% savings. And that's fine because the human eye cannot see, or mostly can't see the difference for.
And they won't care anyways. I'm not too worried about that.
Okay, so I'm just going to save that here. And then the other thing I do is once that's saved, I go to a tool called, there's lots of tools like this, and we have another video. I'll find it right after this for you guys. It just takes out all the metadata from the image, like the location. Like if you look at an iPhone image, it has a ton of metadata, like when it was taken, and that adds to the image file size. So this just kind of gets rid of all that stuff. So right now we went from 3800 to 742 kilobytes. Let's do this thing real quick. And it's going to download it. So now we're down to 385 kilobytes. So about 10%, 90% savings there actually. And there's one more thing that I like to do is, especially for background images, I just like to transfer them to WebP format instead of JPEG format. So I'll take this. And again, this is
are all
just.
these links in our tool page that you put in the chat?
Yeah, David, while I'm doing this, are you able to find the webinar that we did where we went through these steps for optimizing images?
Yep.
Okay,
I'll
yeah,
post
we can
in the
put that
chat.
in the chat. Perfect. Okay, so now we're down to 122 kilobytes. So let me download this. Perfect. And
Looks
if we
the
go,
same. My word.
it is going to look the same. It's going to look 95% the same. Like maybe if you look with a microscope, you're going to see the lines look a little different, but it's a background image.
My perfect shopper's like 55 to 65 years old. We're not worried.
Sometimes it's very important to have that crisp look. So I don't want to knock that, but is the juice worth the squeeze? Like everything's a give and take. So we have to see, like, is it worth saving our bandwidth and loading pages faster for maybe an image that might not be as sharp? In this case, it's kind of like a piece of art, so it's fine. Let's just refresh the page here.
Bandwidth is the speed at which people are seeing the stuff on my website load.
Not the speed. It's not the speed. It's how much data is being sent back and forth to your visitors. So every time, and your homepage is the most visited page of your site. So every time a new visitor came to your site, they were requesting basically 4 megabytes of bandwidth transfer. Now it's going to be a minimal amount. So let's just see, just from changing that image, I see you have some other stuff on your site. This is the old performance. So let's just run this one more time. I'm hoping it will go up. Yeah, it's running. So we were at 39%. This was showing 91 on GT metrics. Let's just run it. And this is just from changing the one homepage image. I'm hoping it shows better in this demonstration here. We'll see. I didn't look at the other stuff that's loading. Let me see what you have in your design settings. This is all good. You could copy all this stuff into the footer code, and that will also help it load pad. It's not necessary for this to load in the head, but let's see what the score is anyways. But that was what was hogging up your bandwidth. It's still showing a low score here, so there are some other things. There's something blocking the loading on your site. Let's see what it could. It's something from the Google Tag Manager. You're using Facebook login on your site. Here's the deadline funnel thing. That's at the top of the list here.
Yeah, I don't need to use it. I can take that out.
Well, here's the thing. If you need it just on the sign up page, you can add it just to the sign up page. It shouldn't be on your home page if it's not something that needs to be on your home page.
I'm thinking because it's in the header.
This one up.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
all this, here's the, yeah, that's fine. Okay. But yeah, that's going to help your bandwidth. That image was 4 megabytes. So that solves that problem.
And I'll have Gabe check it out too. I've been working with him. I really appreciate his knowledge in this stuff. So I'll have him help me clean it up.
Okay, so the only things to look out for is what can you move into, all of this stuff can go into the footer, and maybe this stuff doesn't need to load on every page of your website, because when it's in your design settings here, this stuff loads on every page of your website. So maybe you could be a little more targeted with where you're loading these scripts and stuff like that.
Okay.
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 Sure.
How can I tell what people are searching for in the search section, so then I know what to actually put at the top of the menu to help them, like what you're saying, the Italian restaurant thing you mentioned?
What I would recommend is, I'll show you in 1 second here, is using Google Analytics, and I'll show you why. Okay, I don't have a good example here. I was trying to see a site that's in my analytics history, but let me tell you what you should do.
Okay.
Go to your Google Analytics and go to behavior and go to site content, all pages. It's going to show you all the pages that are visited on your site and so on. Then what you can do is, let's go to your site together. I think we're here. And you want to know what people are searching for. So just hit the search now button. So everything on your site is site search. So what you can do is go to your analytics, and in this little search bar here is say all the pages that have site search on it. And then it's going to, and choose a time frame like a month or two so you have some good data. And it's going to show you all the pages of your site that include the word site search. And you're going to see the top 3 or 4, and then you can visit those pages and see what the searches were for. So it gives you kind of a pulse of what your highest searched type of pages were on your site.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Good questions there. Thank you. All right, and good looking site there. I really like the color tones there. All right, let's see if we got anyone else's hands up here. Good friend Neil. All right, Neil, how you doing today? Okay, looks like he's self-muted. I'll put your hand down. If you come back with us, feel free to raise your hand again. Let's see if we got any other hands up here. We got Conrad. Conrad, how you doing?
Hey, good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, where are you calling in from?
Calling in from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay, great. And
Snowy.
what's your question for us?
Snowy Las Vegas.
It's snowy Las Vegas. Okay.
Barely. Some people are like, oh, that wasn't real snow, but yeah, we had some snow. I had a quick question. I did not see, is it possible to upload like an HTML or to upload HTML code on any of the pages? I was trying to do it in the header, and then I realized I didn't see the option anywhere really.
Yeah, so you can actually, that's one of the things that Brilliant Directories is awesome at. So let me show you a couple things. Now, are you just trying to load a snippet of HTML on a certain page, or do you want an entire page to be your custom HTML for a page from the opening of the head tag and the body tag and all that stuff?
No, just a snippet on a single page.
Perfect. I'll show you exactly what to do. So go to your toolbox in the widget manager and go to the widget manager. And what you want to do is create a new widget and give it a nickname like Conrad's Code, and put all your HTML here. And if you have CSS styling, you can put it here. You don't need to open up a style tag in this box. And if you have any JavaScript, you can drop it in here. You do want to put the script tags in here, or you can just put everything in the HTML. You don't need to use these alternate tabs. This is just to help stay organized. And then what you do is put all your code in there and copy the short code here. You can click copy, and I'll close it. And if you go to a web page, you can go to any, I'll just do new web page. But all that widget is, you could put your widget short code right there. So this is going to render whatever HTML you put in that widget in the widget manager. So widget equals is going to be your new best friend.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Great. Thank you. That's a lot simpler than I. Okay. Good.
Let me extend this a bit more. You can use widget code as your text labels. So if there's a text label somewhere, you can actually do widget equals, and it will do all the HTML from there. Basically, widget equals will put HTML anywhere you want on your website. If anywhere there's an open field to paste the value in the admin area, 99% of the time. So it's when you get familiar with that, you could start putting custom HTML code anywhere on your site.
Nice. All right.
And let me share one video from our blog with you as well. I think you'll appreciate this one, since you're asking about that. If we look for HTML here in our blog, mastering source code changes, how to create, edit, and call custom HTML widgets. This is a video done by Matthew Brook. And there you go. Thank you. Any more questions, Conrad? That was a quick one.
That was it, and that was good. Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. Thank you for the question. All right, guys, I think we're just about over the time here. Fantastic webinar. If we didn't get to your questions, please ask them in the Facebook group. The replay will be available there in the Facebook group. Let me just backtrack on the slides here. Thank you so much, David, for putting these slides together. The tip of the week is awesome. 5 best practices for homepage hero sections to win over visitors, and not just the homepage. It could be any hero section on your site. So again, if we didn't get to your questions, please join us in the Facebook group. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook, click on that blue join button, and in just about 15 or 20 minutes, we'll post the replay of this webinar in that group. And also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We definitely appreciate your support. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/YouTube. The next webinar will be in 2 weeks. Let me see when that will be. I think that will be March 1st. And I think we're going to do the iPad giveaway on that March 1st webinar. I think that's the date we've selected. We're going to post it in the Facebook group, and hopefully that should generate a lot of excitement. So on behalf of myself, David, and the entire Brilliant Directories family, thank you guys so much. It's been awesome. Thank you for your questions and joining us today. Have a great day and a brilliant week. We'll see you in 2 weeks in the next webinar. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.